The group of G7 rich nations has agreed to a new global framework for ending low tax havens by having a minimum corporate tax rate of 15% and by sharing the excess profits of the 100 largest companies with the countries where they operate. This aims to stop giant companies from shifting their profits to low tax havens, and this has become a matter of course nowadays. You find that big companies are shifted their operations to low tax havens just for the purpose of saving tax, and what they are operating is through shell companies in many cases. A meeting of 140 countries is scheduled by the end of June. They will seek an agreement on a new global tax framework and delegate further work on rules to the G20. The OECD, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, and has long attempted a global framework for a fairer tax regime, noting that in a digital age, companies can do billions of business in a country and pay no tax there. Now, do not forget the fact that a country like United States has got a very high percentage of digital companies. The Amazons, the Zooms, these are really very big companies and they have spread across the world. India has recently started taxing these digital companies on the basis of their revenues and not profits. So far, they were just saying that, well, we have so much revenue but no profits, and they were able to escape. But countries like India have now tried to bring it under the tax framework. One can say that the era of tax havens is therefore finally ending. I wish so, but no. For the big four, for the tax firms, no, it's not yet. They will still continue to consult them, and tax loopholes will continue. Because countries such as India will, for example, in addition to the various tax havens, India is not a tax haven, but they do give tax exemptions to those setting up companies in economically backward zones, and many other concessions are given to such people who invest in these backward areas, etc. So you'll find that a regime is coming where countries like India may not be able to take advantage of these schemes, because if you have a 15% flat tax rate across the world, then all these various exemptions stand to go. So who benefits? Definitely it will become a fairer tax regime, but there will be a pressure by the multinational companies or the respective governments to try and put pressure on them to find ways and means to get away. Britain talks a lot about all this as a part of the G7 rich nations group. However, one finds that a lot of these British territories, the British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Channel Islands, Bermuda, all are part of the British territories, aren't they? The US, yes, talks of fair tax regime, but a state like Delaware, I mean, you find so many companies set up in Delaware and enjoying some very good tax exemptions. The former European Commissioner, President Jean-Claude Juncker, says that the light touch regulations of the United States and states like Delaware are comparable to what Caribbean tax havens do. Oh, yeah, I hope that he said it in a jovial mood. Switzerland, as you know, became rich by attracting global black money, protected by strict bank secrecy. Over the years, you found that countries like United States have put pressure on Switzerland to go do away with these tax laws, and to uncover who are the people who are the ultimate beneficiaries of all the money that is stashed in Swiss banks. So we had various WikiLeaks and others coming out, and lot of people from various countries got exposed in the bargain, which is quite a surprise in many ways. I mean, the names one would have never expected suddenly started appearing. So countries such as Singapore, Ireland, Mauritius, and the Netherlands have attracted massive investment through low tax rates. Especially, you could set up a shell company in any of these tax jurisdictions, and you could escape from capital gains tax. So, a lot of these investment banking companies, asset management companies, would set up a shell company in these tax havens and divert the money and pump it into emerging economies, emerging countries, and voila, taxes free. They get great returns from these countries. Hope that all this could come under, and then now we have another regime where jihadis and terrorists were using a lot of this laundering mechanisms to be able to move their laundered money across the world. And then we came to the world of cryptocurrency, where there have been talks now, something like Bitcoin is getting into the world of tax laundering, and so if they cannot do it through any other ways, then they have started doing it through Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. You could just end up paying somebody in cryptocurrency rather than in any other legal tender, and just escape the taxman's eyes. Now, the simplest and the most honest solution is, of course, to decree an alternative minimum tax, what we have, right, of 15%, regardless of tax breaks. So, no tax breaks, 15% across the board. But any country that is wishing to attain political or social goals through special incentives will have to do then through budgetary grants and not tax concessions, and that's not very easy because there are political compulsions for any country, and they will not be using the budgetary resources for that purpose. So that's not possible. Okay. Now, lobbies will argue that for exceptions and exemptions could be there for trusts, for pension funds, and a variety of such entities, right? Family trusts, right? So you have those trusts which have been created in so many parts of the world. WikiLeaks has exposed. If anybody aware of WikiLeaks would have seen this very well. I believe, however, good the intentions of this G7 group of rich nations, it may take some time to have it properly implemented, especially in the world when country like United States has got so much of it's ruling the world as far as digital companies are concerned, which pay very little tax. You have some countries in the forefront by taxing more on the revenues. Yes, that is true. But all this to concretize into a implementable solution, I believe, may take some period of time, although the intentions are very noble at this point of time. So, long delays could be there before the final implementation takes place, and many loopholes may remain. However, in the interim, the countries such as India should be able to continue taxing the digital companies on the basis of revenues generated, and who knows, such type of tax regime may become something which may be the cornerstone of what the G7 nations and the other countries as well. They finally decide. There's a group of 140 countries by the end of June going to implement what this G7 has just brought about in their papers. So you never know, by the time they meet in end of June, 140 countries will finally hold, and what India has implemented, they will implement it across the world. Okay, so great, and have a very, very noble intentions on the part of the G7 group of nations, and I believe that sooner or later a good and a flat, nice tax regime with a minimum tax rate of 15%. It may take some time. There may be some loopholes. Lawyers will benefit in the interim, but finally, yes, this is coming there. It may take maybe some years as well for it to come and to finally come to a final solution. But yes, good beginning. Great job done by the G7 nations. And yes, if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so to get some good educative views on what's happening in the world of finance, taxation, and where the world markets are headed across the world, in the United States, in UK, in the Far East, and in India, in Southeast Asia. So happy investing, and look forward to seeing you as a part of our YouTube channel. Happy investing. Take care. Bye bye.